Do you want to know a secret that can change your whole life? Today, I want to tell you about a book that has helped millions of people feel peace, find courage, and believe in themselves again. It is more than just a book. It feels like a friend and a guide that brings hope when life is hard. The book is called The Power of Positive Thinking by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. Since it was first published, more than 15 million copies have been sold all around the world. It has been translated into more than 40 languages and has given inspiration to people everywhere. But this is not simply a motivational talk. It is a real system, a way of thinking, speaking, and acting that can truly change lives. Many people who felt broken, afraid, or hopeless started to live again after using the ideas from this book. The best thing is that it is written in very simple words. And today, I will explain it in even easier English, so everyone can understand and feel its power. While you learn these lessons, you will also improve your English step by step. Stay with me until the end, because this book might give you the faith, the courage, and the confidence you have been searching for all your life. Let's begin the journey together. If you don't trust yourself, the world will not trust you either. Many people lose before they even start because deep inside they think, I am not good enough. I am not smart enough. I am not lucky like others. These kinds of thoughts are like quiet enemies that hold you back. Real confidence always begins inside. Let's think about a boy named Sam. At school, he was always quiet because he believed, I cannot speak English like the others. I will look foolish if I try. He never raised his hand, and he never practiced. One day, his teacher told him, you are not less than anyone. You only believe you are. These words changed Sam's life. Every morning after that, he told himself, I can learn. I am not afraid. I will improve. 6 months later, Sam stood on stage and gave a speech in English. His hands were shaking, but his heart was strong. He was able to do this because he finally believed in himself. The lesson is simple. Remove the negative voice inside you and replace it with positive self-talk. Each morning, look in the mirror and say to yourself, I believe in myself. I am capable. I can do difficult things. If you do this for 30 days, you will feel much stronger and more confident. Your mind cannot be clear when it is full of noise. Peaceful thoughts give you strength. Think of your brain like a phone. When too many apps are open, the phone slows down. Anger, stress, and worry work the same way. They use up your energy. To live a powerful life, you need to calm the storm inside you. There was once a woman named Maria. She worked very hard but was always tired, upset, and sad. Her boss shouted at her, her kids complained, and her husband didn't listen. One day, she sat under a tree, closed her eyes, and breathed slowly. For 10 minutes each day, she gave herself silence. No phone, no noise, just calm. Slowly, her life started to change. She smiled more, spoke more gently, and people around her respected her. She was not suddenly lucky. She had simply made her mind peaceful, and that gave her new power. So disconnect from the chaos. Take a walk, sit quietly, or read something calm before you sleep. Not news, not gossip, not drama. Peace creates power, and when your mind is peaceful, your life becomes strong. Fear destroys more dreams than real problems ever do. People often do not fail because of difficulties, but because they are afraid of what might happen. They ask themselves, what if I lose? What if people laugh? What if I fail? But they forget to ask, what if I succeed? Do not let fear control your life. There was once a young man who wanted to open a cafe, but he was too afraid. He had no experience and did not know how to start. One day, he asked his grandfather, what if I fail? The old man smiled and said, then you will learn. But if you never try, you will only regret it. These words gave the young man courage. He took a loan and opened his cafe. After 6 months, the cafe closed, but he did not see it as a loss. He had gained experience, confidence, and lessons that would help him in the future. But he didn't stop trying. He studied, he practiced, and he learned from his mistakes. He opened his cafe again, and this time it worked. Today, he is the proud owner of 5 cafes. Why did this happen? Because he stopped asking, "What if I fail?" and started asking, "What if I succeed?" This story shows us that fear only lives in our imagination. It is not real, but courage is real. Being brave doesn't mean you feel no fear. It means you move forward even when you are afraid. So remember this line: don't fear the future, create it with your actions. Happiness is not something we wait for. It is something we build every day. Many people think, "I'll be happy when I get the job, when I get married, or when I become rich." But if you connect happiness to outside things, you will always be chasing it. True happiness starts inside. Once, a very rich man said, "I have everything, but I feel empty." He had a big house, fame, and money, but no peace. Then he began to do small, kind things. On Sundays, he spent time with poor children. Every night, he called his mother. He planted trees. He said, "Thank you," more often, and slowly, he began to smile again. He learned that happiness lives in moments, in giving, and in gratitude. The lesson is clear. Smile first, not because life is perfect, but because you are alive. Stop comparing yourself with others and start appreciating what you already have. Enjoy small joys, a cup of tea with your mother, a hug from your child, or a quiet minute by yourself. If you want to be happy, don't wait for a special moment. Create it now. Your mind is like a magnet. If you expect good things, you attract them. If you always expect the worst, your fears often become true. That is why it is important to expect the best. When you believe something good will happen, your brain becomes creative, your body feels strong, and your eyes see new opportunities. But if you expect failure, your brain shuts down, your body feels weak, and your heart is filled with fear. There was a man named David who worked as a salesman. Every morning, he told himself, "No one will buy from me today. People don't care." And almost no one bought from him. One day, he tried something different. Before leaving the house, he stood in front of the mirror and said, "Today will be a great day. I will meet kind people. I will sell." At first, nothing big changed. But step by step, his smile became real, his energy was stronger, and people started trusting him. After 3 months, David became the top salesman. The world didn't change, he changed. What you expect becomes your reality. So every day, expect success, not failure. Before every important moment, close your eyes and tell yourself, "I expect the best. I am ready." Do this for 1 week, and your mindset will never be the same. Fear is not just an emotion. It is like a poison that steals your peace, weakens your body, and takes away your strength. The lesson is simple. Stop feeding fear and start feeding faith. Think about what you give your mind each day. If you watch negative news, listen to complaints, or compare yourself on social media, you are feeding fear. But if you read good books, spend time with positive people, pray, meditate, or walk in nature, you are feeding peace. There was a woman named Julia who had panic attacks. She was afraid of losing her job, her health, and her relationships. Every morning she started with bad news, and every night she finished with gossip videos. Her mind became a storm. One day, her therapist gave her a challenge. For 10 days, she was not allowed to watch bad content or gossip. Instead, she had to listen to good music, write in a gratitude journal, and spend time outdoors. At first, she laughed and thought it would not help. But she tried it anyway. After 7 days, she already felt better. After 30 days, her panic attacks were gone. She felt like a new person because she stopped feeding her fears. Fear grows when you water it. So stop watering it. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" ask yourself, "What if I grow?" Don't let fear write your story. Remember this powerful idea. Feed your mind with courage, and fear will die of hunger. Worry is also a problem. It is like a rocking chair. It keeps you busy, but it never takes you anywhere. Worry is not a solution. It is only a habit, and habits can be changed. Like any habit, worry can be broken. Many people believe that worrying is just part of life, but that is not true. You are not born with worry. You learn it. And anything learned can also be unlearned. Life becomes lighter when you decide to let go of worry. There was a man named Nick. Every day he filled his mind with fear. What if I lose my job? What if my wife leaves me? What if I get sick? One day, he heard a speaker say, "Write your worries on paper, and then burn the paper." It sounded strange, but he wanted to try. Nick thought it was a silly idea, but he still did it. He wrote down, "I'm afraid of being poor. I'm afraid of being alone." Then he burned the paper and felt lighter inside. He kept doing this every week, and slowly his worries lost power because he was releasing them instead of holding them in his heart. Another tip from this chapter is to divide your worries into 3 groups. Worries you can solve now. Solve them quickly. Worries you cannot solve now. Set a time later to think about them. And worries that are silly and useless. Throw them away forever. Worry steals your peace, your focus, and your sleep. It never takes away tomorrow's pain, but it always takes away today's joy. The lesson is clear. Stop hiding from worry. Face it, and replace it with problem solving. Your mind will feel calmer and your body stronger. There is also something bigger than you in this world. When you trust this higher power, you feel safe, strong, and protected. Some people call it God, others call it the universe or faith, but the truth is simple. You are not alone, no matter how dark life looks. There was a man who lost everything in business. He tried loans, investors, and every plan, but nothing worked. Finally, in silence, he said, "I have done all I can. Now I let go. I trust." A week later, a friend called with an opportunity. It gave him hope again. It wasn't magic, it wasn't luck. It was the peace that came after he surrendered. Trust feels like a child holding their father's hand. No fear, only safety. When you stop trying to control everything, your heart feels light, and you don't have to carry all the weight alone anymore. Each night before you sleep, whisper to yourself, "I am not alone. I trust the path. I release my fear." This will help you rest better and wake up stronger. A few seconds of trust before sleep can change how you feel during the whole day. Many people feel tired all the time, not because their body is weak, but because their mind is exhausted. Energy doesn't only come from food or sleep, it comes from your thoughts. Positive thoughts give you energy, and negative thoughts drain it quickly. Imagine 2 people. One wakes up and says, "Oh no, another hard day." The other wakes up and says, "Today is a gift. I will give it my best." They both have the same body and the same job, but by 10 a.m., one feels tired and the other feels alive, only because of their mindset. There was a nurse named Emily who worked 12-hour shifts in a hospital. People asked her, "How do you always have so much energy?" She smiled and said, "I don't think about how tired I am. I think about why I do this." Her energy came from her purpose, not from coffee or rest. Even when her legs hurt, she smiled, because her mind was stronger than her body. The truth is simple. Negative thoughts take away your energy. Positive thoughts create energy. Start your morning with words like, "I am strong. I am ready. I have a reason to live today." These words change how you feel. Every time you feel low, stand up, breathe deeply, and say out loud, "I have all the energy I need. I am bigger than this moment." If you say it with force, you will feel a real shift inside you. Your body will follow your words. You are never alone. When your strength ends, there is always another power you can connect to, and that power comes through prayer. Prayer is not about perfect words. It is about speaking honestly from your heart. Anyone can do it, anywhere, anytime. One businessman was losing everything: his money, his company, even his marriage. He tried therapy and coaching, but nothing helped. One night, he said, "God, if you are there, please help me." For the first time in years, he cried, and that moment gave him peace. From then on, He started praying 10 minutes each morning. Slowly, his mind became clear and his life improved. Prayer is not only asking, it is connecting to peace. You don't need to be religious. Just be honest and speak from your soul. A simple practice is this. Before sleeping, whisper 3 things. Thank you for today. Forgive me for my mistakes. Guide me tomorrow. This quiet habit can make your heart feel strong, even in your darkest days. Peace will slowly grow inside you. Holding anger only hurts you. It is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Forgiveness is not for them. It is for you, because it frees your heart. Without forgiveness, you remain stuck in the past. Many people carry pain from the past. Someone betrayed them, someone cheated, someone said hurtful words. They say, I will never forgive. But this only keeps the wound open. Forgiveness closes the wound and gives you peace, and it gives you back your life. One man didn't speak to his brother for 12 years because of an insult. The anger grew every year until one day he read this line. Forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. He cried, called his brother, and they both healed. Forgiveness doesn't mean the other person was right. It means you choose peace over pain. Letting go takes more strength than holding on, and true forgiveness is a sign of power. A peaceful heart is always stronger than an angry one. Close your eyes for a moment and think of someone who hurt you. Now whisper, I forgive you. I release this pain. I choose peace. You don't need to tell this person, but you do need to free your heart. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is strength that makes your soul light and calm. When you forgive, you give yourself freedom, not them. In today's world, people are always running, working fast, eating fast, and even sleeping with worry. But living in a calm way is not boring, it is smart. A calm life helps you make better choices and enjoy small moments deeply. There was a man named Daniel who was the boss of a big company. He was always busy with meetings, calls, and emails. One day, the doctor told him, your heart is in danger. You must slow down. Daniel changed his routine. He woke up earlier to eat breakfast with his daughter. He stopped checking his phone at night and started walking in the park every evening, listening only to the sound of nature. After 6 months, he was healthier, happier, and even more productive. He did not do less. He did things better. The lesson is simple. Don't rush through life. Focus on fewer things, but do them with love. Protect your peace, and remember, living slowly is not lazy, it is wise. It is the path to real success. Life is full of surprises. Sometimes plans break, people hurt you, or bad things happen. You cannot control everything, but you can always control how you react. A young pilot once lost an engine while flying. Passengers screamed, the crew panicked, but he stayed calm. He said to himself, panic will not save anyone. My calmness is their survival. He followed the rules, spoke clearly with the control tower, and landed safely. Later he said, yes, I was afraid. But fear never solves a problem. Calm thinking does. This shows that calmness is not weakness, it is real power. When life feels out of control, stop, breathe, and speak slowly. Ask yourself, what is the wisest thing I can do now? Your life changes not when problems end, but when you stay calm inside. Practice this daily, and slowly your strength will surprise you. Your mind also has the power to heal your body. Science shows that hope and belief help people recover faster. There was a woman named Susan who had cancer. Doctors said she might not live long, but she filled her days with music, kindness, and positive thoughts. She told herself every day, my body is healing. My cells are strong. She helped other patients and shared her smile. A year later, her health was better than doctors expected. Another boy had a broken spine and was told he would never walk again. But he imagined himself walking every day, and he trained his body and his mind. After 2 years, he was running marathons. These stories prove that thoughts are powerful. Positive thinking is not ignoring pain. It is choosing to believe in recovery. Each morning and night, whisper, "My body is healing. I am getting stronger." Say it with love, because your body is listening. Fill your heart with hope, and your body will follow. And remember, no one succeeds alone. Humans need connection, love, and support. Strong relationships make life strong, but many people lose this strength because of pride, anger, or lack of time. If you build good relationships, your happiness and success will also grow. Be kind, listen more, and give love, because every strong relationship is like a bridge that carries you through the hardest days. This chapter shows how even the smallest actions can completely change your life and the lives of those around you. A couple had been married for 15 years, but over time, they stopped talking, laughing, and spending any real time together. Their house was quiet, and each day felt like a routine without joy. One day, the husband decided to do something simple but deeply meaningful. Every morning, before leaving for work, he kissed his wife's hand and said, "Thank you for being with me." At first, she did not respond and kept her distance, but he continued this small gesture without expecting anything in return. After 3 weeks, she finally smiled at him. 2 months later, they began talking again, sharing small conversations and memories they had almost forgotten. 6 months later, they renewed their wedding vows, feeling a connection they thought was lost forever. Their marriage was not saved by money, therapy, or grand gestures, but by patience, kindness, and the power of consistent, loving actions. There was also a father who never spoke kindly to his children. He was always busy with work, always stressed, and rarely took the time to connect with his family. One day, his young son looked at him with innocent eyes and asked, "Dad, why don't you smile when you see me?" That single question broke the man's heart. He sat down, hugged his son tightly, and cried for the first time in years. From that day on, he committed to spending at least 15 minutes each day playing, talking, and simply being present with his children. Slowly, their bond grew stronger and unbreakable, showing that love and attention are more powerful than any material gift. This chapter teaches a simple truth. Say thank you, and I love you often. Forgive quickly, speak gently, and always listen with love. Do not wait for a perfect moment to fix what is broken. Start now, because the smallest effort can bring the greatest change. Faith is another powerful force that shapes our lives. Faith is more than just believing in something. It is trust, action, and courage in the face of uncertainty. It gives strength when life feels dark and helps us keep moving even when the end of the road is invisible. Imagine a man who lost his job and waited for months with no response from any company. His savings were gone, his wife was pregnant, and he felt hopeless. Yet, every morning, he put on his old suit, carried his folder, and said, "I don't know who will hire me, but I believe someone will." One day, while waiting at a bus stop, he helped an old man carry groceries. That man turned out to be a CEO, and impressed by the man's honesty and kindness, he offered him a job better than any he had before. Faith, not luck, had created that life-changing moment. A young girl dreamed of studying at a foreign university but had no money. Everyone around her said it was impossible. She applied for 30 scholarships, wrote emails daily, prayed, and never stopped believing. On her 31st application, she received a full scholarship. Today, she is a professor, inspiring others to chase their dreams and proving that faith is more than hope. It is a decision to act, even when the result is not yet visible. Faith gives power to our actions, peace to our hearts, and light to our path, teaching us that perseverance and belief can create miracles when we least expect them. This chapter also emphasizes that trying to please everyone is a trap. You cannot live fully and happily if you spend your life making others happy while ignoring your own needs. Most people feel exhausted not because of the work they do, but because they do too much for others and too little for themselves. They say yes when they want to say no, agree to things that hurt their peace, and hide their feelings to avoid conflict. Respecting your own truth is essential. Clara, for example, was always the nice one. She stayed silent when friends used her, agreed to a marriage she did not want, and worked a job that made her miserable just to make her parents proud. One day, she asked herself, "Why does everyone love me, but I don't love myself?" That night, she wrote a letter to herself. "Dear Clara, I'm sorry. From now on, I will protect you." She courageously said no to the marriage, quit her job, and followed her childhood dream of studying music. People around her were shocked, some angry, but for the first time in her life, she felt free. This chapter teaches that you don't need to explain your life to everyone. Pleasing others often means betraying yourself. Choose your peace, even if it means some people walk away. Each time you feel pressured to please someone, ask yourself, if I say yes to them, am I saying no to myself? If the answer is yes, always choose yourself. Finally, this chapter shows the power of love in life. Success without love is empty. A rich life is measured not by money, but by the depth of love you give and receive. Love is in how you treat others, how you speak kindly, how you forgive, how you help, how you smile, and how you listen. Love is a decision to act with kindness, even when the world seems unkind. A boy with Down syndrome was often ignored by his classmates, but one girl chose to sit with him, share her food, smile, and ask about his day. She did not see it as a big gesture, but 10 years later, he sent her a message saying, "Your love saved me. You made me feel seen." Even small acts of love can create a powerful impact. Loving never fails, and your warmth matters, even in a cold world. Do not only chase goals, build love around you. Say I love you to family and friends. Help others without expecting anything, and speak kindly to strangers. At the end of life, people do not remember your money. They remember your love. Do not give up. You are closer to your goals than you think. Many people quit just one step before success because they let fatigue speak louder than purpose. A miner worked for 5 years and found nothing, giving up too soon, while the next person dug a little deeper and struck gold. A woman sent her book to 22 publishers and faced rejection after rejection, but she continued because she believed her dream mattered. Perseverance, love, kindness, and faith. These are the true forces that shape a meaningful life, and every small step you take brings you closer to the happiness and success you seek. Everyone turned her down. She felt crushed, tears streaming down her face. Giving up seemed easier than trying again. But her best friend reminded her of something very important. Don't let rejection steal your gift. One yes can change everything. Encouraged, she sent her manuscript to another publisher. This time, the 23rd one accepted it. That book went on to become a worldwide bestseller. The woman behind it all was J.K. Rowling. The lesson is clear. You do not need 100 people to believe in you. Sometimes, all it takes is one person, and that person must be you. Difficult moments are not a sign of failure. They are proof that you are moving forward. Challenges show that you are growing and learning. Whenever you feel the urge to quit, ask yourself, why did I start this journey? Picture your future self, the one who will smile and be grateful that you didn't give up. Say it to yourself every morning. I have come too far to stop. I am not finished yet. You were not born to surrender. You were born to rise again, each time stronger than before. Live your life with purpose and energy. You were not made by accident. You were created for something greater than simply existing. Most people go through the motions, wake up, work, eat, sleep, and call it life. Deep down, however, they feel a sense of emptiness because they are not following their true path. Real life comes from acting with passion and heart. A man working at a call center asked himself one day, "Is this all I am meant to do?" He began spending his weekends teaching English to children from poor families. He discovered joy he had never felt before. Inspired by this new purpose, he left his job, and started a small school. It flourished because his actions were fueled by meaning, not chance. Today, over 2,000 students learn there, all because one person dared to ask a simple question about his own life. Another story shows the power of small acts done with love. A woman cleaned floors in a hospital. Patients and staff rarely noticed her, yet she smiled at every person, sang softly while she worked, and prayed quietly for the sick. When she retired, the staff created a video to honor her. They said, "You were not just cleaning, you were healing." Even the smallest work becomes meaningful when it is done with love and intention. This chapter teaches that your life matters, even if you cannot always see the impact. Discover what makes your heart feel alive and pursue it passionately. Do not hide your talents from the world. Living with power and purpose means asking yourself each day, what can I do today that will create a positive difference tomorrow? Take actions that make you proud, even if no one notices. Stop chasing a perfect life and instead focus on a life full of meaning. You have power. You have a purpose. You are not too small or too late. You are at the beginning of an extraordinary journey. This book is like a mirror, showing you the thoughts you carry and the person you could become. You don't need genius or luck. What matters is belief. Deep belief that your thoughts shape your reality. If your mind is filled with fear, you will see the world through fear. If your mind is filled with faith, courage, peace, and kindness, you will feel strong inside, no matter what happens outside. Dr. Peale gave us not magic, but a mindset. You are not your past, your mistakes, or your doubts. You are powerful, capable, loved, and continuously growing into the person you were born to be. From today, speak kindly to yourself. Think boldly, dream again, and love with your whole heart. Believe with confidence that something wonderful is coming, because it already is on its way. If this book has shifted even a small part of your thinking, it has already begun changing your life.